This game is rated M for mature. Hey there everybody, redxparasite here, and welcome back to Let's Play Bayonetta. The last chapter gave us a little bit of trouble, but in between episodes I went and practiced a bit more, so hopefully this one will go a little bit more smoothly this time. Now, if you're wondering why my Halo count is a little bit higher than at the end of the last episode, I had to go back and replay Chapter 5 in order to get verse 13, which I missed. So in doing that, obviously I got some Halos. So we actually have enough to visit the Gates of Hell. So I'm going to start off by doing that, because we can definitely pick up something with 62,000. Maybe I should actually practice some combos. I don't know. Spinning around in circles is fun.
For these Halos, and maybe I can buy a ticket to space. Always wanted to be a bald space marine. What can I do for you anyways?
Okay, so we've bought all the witch hearts that we can get from the shop now. So let's see. I do not have one of these in my inventory, so I'll definitely pick up one of those. So we can start buying the moon pearls now. Ooh, okay, so this is available now. Or actually, I think it was available before, but I just didn't have enough to buy it. So this is actually very handy. So if you're in air and you double tap R, you will snap to the enemy. Now, it does use one magic gauge, but, you know, that's not too much of a cost to use it. So definitely recommend getting that. It can help you keep combos going if you kill an enemy and then, you know, the other enemy is on the other side of the arena or whatever. So in this case, let's see. I don't really use these a bunch, but I think I'll go ahead and get some of these abilities. And then, let's see, we'll need 75,000 to get the other ones. And I think those are all of the abilities, or at least the additional abilities in the game. So once you buy out those, that section will be complete. You won't have anything else to buy from there. So let's get into Chapter 6. Nope, messed the timing up on that. So these are the Proving Ground Ruins. So, right at the beginning of the chapter here, if you turn around, there's a chest. And that has the first part of the record in it. This is Leigh Patner's Waltz, a particular favorite of mine. So, now that we have that, we can press onward. And before you go down the steps here, there's a note on the right side. So this is entering Vigrid. The ancient city of Vigrid is largely inaccessible, surrounded by mountains on one side and the sea to the other. While at first glance this may seem incredibly inconvenient, it is said that Vigrid flourished primarily due to the presence of strong spirit energy within the land underfoot. The Umbra Witches and Lumen Sages, each with respective control over dark and light, must have needed a land to replete with this spirit energy to enable them to oversee history. The waves of time have modernized Vigrid, spurring rapid development. However, its residents still avoid outside contact, preferring to maintain their own culture and religious outlook. Their only link with the outside world is a single long-distance rail line. Simply riding this train requires an application to be submitted to Vigrid authorities, and a rigorous background check is required prior to the issuance of an entrance visa, which must be carried at all times. Once disembarking from the train, there is further police search, after which one is granted admission to the city. It seems that what allows Vigrid the ability to be so strict regarding immigration is the seemingly close link between the Vigridian authorities and the Ithaval group, a conglomerate based in Vigrid. Yet proving this link will require further investigation. Okay, so I believe that is the last thing that we need before heading inside. So, there's a gate. Nothing that could stop us from opening it, of course. And once you get inside here, there's going to be a verse. Got a bat within there, so dodged that a little too late, but that kicked in and helped us out. And actually got it that time too. So I feel like that's going to be really helpful for me, just because my reaction times might not be quite as good because I'm trying to talk while I play, at least some of the time. So there are 2 ardors and a few affinities here, and I think there are no extra enemies here. And that is that. So I think we got an arcade bullet from that. That's what it looked like to me. So we've got more of these platforms before you head forward, though. Oh yeah, there we go.
Bring it.
Feeling a little bit better now. So there's a chest up here on the left side. So hop up and grab this. Has a broken witch heart in it. Before you move forward. So as with the last chapter, we will need to use... Actually, I'm not sure if we've seen this before, or it's just me remembering playing through this in practice, but in order to hit all of those switches, you need to use Panther Within. So there's going to be a fight here in just a moment, but before you take care of that, there's a pile of rocks over here, and there's actually a chest hiding underneath, and it has part of the record in it. So definitely make sure that you grab this. So I believe the verse will start once you check the statues. That's how it usually goes. That ends up being the trigger for a lot of the fights. So we have 2 inspired here. I would recommend trying to shoot them with your guns if you can, because they're going to be kind of out of reach. Now, once you do... Did not see that coming, but once you do enough damage, you'll be able to ground them. So, okay, so I'm not sure if I showed this off in the last fight with the Inspired or not, but you can get an opportunity to counter them sometimes. And as you can see, it does about half their health bar, so, or actually more. Very nearly kills them, so that is definitely one of the best ways to deal with them quickly. So I think it dived. So in the arenas here, if it dives under the water, which we can stand on because it's not that deep, so I don't. Maybe they're underground, but just watch out. They will lunge at you periodically. So just try to dodge those. I think there's only one of the attacks from underwater that you can actually get witch time off of, so you can see I was dodging those other ones, but I wasn't getting any witch time off of it. So I think with the last one of the 2, you do get a climax, so finish this off in style. So it did pretty well with that first, all things considered. Those fights can drag on a while if you don't get those counter reactions, or if the Inspired just aren't being cooperative. Which is one of the reasons why I don't particularly like fighting them. So yeah, it just took a little bit of damage, but otherwise we were pretty good. So, we saw this in Paradiso last, so we have some statues. You're going to activate Witch Time here, and then we can walk on these water spouts. And this is fairly lenient timing. So I think this is all one extended verse here. So, that one's actually new, that Panther Punt. So you can do that on smaller enemies there, but you'll want to get through this quickly because you're on the clock here. There's another verse that was similar to this in a previous level, so we've got some spike traps here. There are some of them that you can get through without needing to dodge, but if they're, gonna hit you, then you can dodge. And the fastest way is obviously to try to avoid them, but can be somewhat difficult to do that. So, more affinities, and an applaud, so some pretty easy enemies for this point, not too difficult. And I think that will finish out the verse. There we go. So once you defeat the angels here, there's an Alfheim verse. So you're gonna run back through this section, and it's right here at the beginning of this area. So it's not too far back, and I can appreciate that given how ridiculous some of the backtracking for them is. So this one's going to involve using torture attacks, so oops, kind of messed up my usual strategy there. But as before, the punch, 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 kick, kick. This combo here is particularly useful, and hold on to kicks, and you'll get a lot of magic meter really quickly. So now with these guys here, there's going to be multiple waves, so you have a lot of room to work with. But if you get 3 off of these guys, then you're sitting pretty. So we've got a group of Harmony here. And I'm getting hit a lot by them, so gonna have to be careful here. Okay, well, gave it one good shot, so I will try my best, and we'll see you once I'm successful. Okay, so I got that on second try, which is not too bad. This one's kind of difficult just because you only have 3 health, I think is really the hardest thing. Getting the required number of torture attacks isn't that bad. But one thing I don't know if I've mentioned yet or not about these specific challenges is you actually have to kill with the torture attack. You can't just do the certain number. You actually have to kill the enemy with it. Some enemies, like the applauds or the other one at the beginning, it just instantly kills them, so you don't have to worry about it. But some of the other enemies, it only does maybe 3/4 of their health bar, so you have to watch out and make sure that you don't do it when they're at full health, otherwise it won't kill. So just something to be cognizant of during those Alpine verses. So we will run back to here. So same thing with these switches. They're a little bit trickier now. They're not all in a completely straight line. So once you get on the other side of this door, there is another note. This is notes on the topic of magic 4. Everyone carries within them a record of their evolution as a being since time immemorial. It is this inner knowledge that the magical arts call upon when a practitioner uses the transformative technique known as the beast within. While there's very little documentation regarding this technique, it is comparatively easy to guess at its workings. It is even easier when one considers how many works of art depicting this condition fill museums to this very day. These works capture the very moment when a witch transforms herself into an animal. Present-day interpretations never seem to escape the realm of dismissing these works as an artist's daydreams. However, when viewed from a different perspective, they are an important reference point in researching the magical arts. These pictures illustrate the unbelievable transformation of an Umbra witch via the most special of means, seeing her take the form of various animals. The witches were able to freely use this technique, transforming into beasts for incredible speed, or birds to send themselves soaring into the sky. So we actually have all of the beast forms now. So the Panther Within you get as part of the story, the Crow you can buy, and then the Bat you can also buy. So we've got another verse here. And we're going to have 2 sets of Grace and Glory. And what makes this fight a little trickier is that you're in a pretty tight space with them, so you don't have a lot of room to work with. It's going to provide a little bit of health left. Yep. So. Alright, and here we get the second set. So I think I've said pretty much everything that I have to say about these guys. They are one of the rare exceptions. Their torture attack requires you to spin the control stick, and luckily it's not, Mario Party levels of control stick spinning, but I think the highest I've actually gotten is around like 26, and I think those are just full revolutions, so. And just for fun, we'll end it with a torture attack because it'll get us a little bit more combo points. And who doesn't like a flashy ending?
Bring it.
Okay. So we've been following Cereza this whole time, which I've actually failed to mention, but yeah, that is what we've been doing. Once you get close enough to this bridge here, the middle section's going to break. Those 2 enemies are going to fall down and die. And I don't think we're done with the verse yet. Oh, there's some more enemies spawning in behind us. I think you can actually prematurely end this verse if you just cross the bridge without fighting all these enemies. So If you want to get a good score on this verse, make sure that you stick behind to kill these guys. Okay, last one, where are you? Let's see. Verse is not yet over, but music stops, so let's cross to the other side. And I think once you get right in front of this door is when the verse is scripted to end. So we are getting up there on time, though, for this episode, so I think I will end it here. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Let's Play Bayonetta. I've been redxparasite, signing out.